Thank you for giving me the chance to speak to you today about one of the most dangerous professions in the world, being a journalist and human rights defender in Latin America. The threats that human rights defender journalists face are multiple and sometimes lethal. We know they face intimidation, online abuse and harassment, hacking, unlawful detention, physical threats and murder. It is difficult to imagine the level of stress these journalists, who are often women, have to absorb to do their work in defending the rights of others. Their families carry that anxiety too, making their vital work even more difficult. These fears and others often lead journalists self-censoring for their own protection. They know what can happen if they tell the full story, how dangerous it can be to tell the whole truth. And now there is an extra layer of uncertainty and threat brought by the COVID-19 pandemic. More journalists are being silenced for exposing government incompetence and denial, and journalists are now being targeted in new ways with new laws passed in the context of COVID. Many journalists are losing their jobs because of the economic impact of the virus. There have been massive layoffs across the media industry all over the world. Making a living as a journalist has suddenly become even more difficult. Apart from the financial challenges they face, it is crucial that journalists be provided with necessary psychological support. Many journalists just don't earn enough to afford the services of a psychologist. The UNESCO initiative to establish the Latin American Support Group for Journalists will help bring that psychological support to journalists and their families across Latin America. Such support is not only the right thing to do to protect their health, but having more journalists being better able to write and speak the truth, to defend human rights, to expose corruption and impunity is vital to the work of holding governments to account. We need to help protect human rights defenders who are journalists, not only for their sake, but for ours too. They have to have the right to defend rights without fear or intimidation or attack or psychological harm. That's why this initiative is so important and why I support it.